he's still going to...
Okay? So here's the Torah. So the Torah has the Aseres HaDibros twice in the Torah. Right? It has it in Parshas Yisro the first time, and Voscha. And there's a number of differences. Everybody knows the main difference, Zachar and Shomer. One time by Shabbos it says Zachar Siyam Shabbos Kadshay, and then the second time it says Shomer Siyam Shabbos Kadshay. But there are a number of smaller differences. One difference is the last one, it says Lo Yisachmai, the first time to be jealous, and the second time it says Lo Yisisaveh. It's more like don't have taiva for your friend's wife, not to be jealous of. So it's very different than you would think. There's differences. But what's the smallest difference between the two dibros? It's a very significant thing when there's a difference in the dibros. So those are big differences. Zachar and Shamra, two different, Lois Ases. But here's one difference. The tiniest difference is like this, a Vav. There's a Vav in the first dibros that's not in the second dibros. I'm going to come out and say the craziest Torah just on one little Vav. This is what a Vav, and you'll see that at the end you're going to say, Mamish, it's all in that Vav. It's like amazing what one Vav could be. Here's what it says. The first Dibra says in the second Dibra, the second one is Avodah Zarah, right? Lo yilachah lehim acherim al panai, lo tishtachave lehem v'lo yisavdeim, lo yisasa lecha. Rabbi, even if you leave, you have to be here in the beginning. You can't leave before you leave. Yeah.
I'm on the phone.
Oh, your mama's on the phone.
It's okay. I'm listening anyway.
He's more important than your neshama? What?
Okay. Phil, I got it.
Oh, Phil. Yeah.
I can't give you a time in a second, but I didn't speak to anybody yet.
Okay, we're being recorded, so I don't want to make dead time. Dead time is the worst, and bad radio. Right? Someone here's going to learn how to edit. Right? We're going to get somebody to be an editor. It's not that hard to move out.
It's not hard to edit. You need to have the patience to watch it.
It's not a hard thing. It's a time thing. You have to find out the time.
Okay, so teach me how to do it. I'll do it.
Instead of Gene sending text messages, maybe she could edit it.
Okay.
What are you going to say now? Am I going to see you at the Altair this week?
What?
Am I going to see you at the Altair?
You going to give Shabbos?
It's really bad radio. At the Altair, but I'm going to be in
So were you learning Shavuos night?
It's good. Okay, let's
go.
Going to be up Shavuos night?
In the beginning, come for the first couple of shiurim. First couple hours.
Do you do shiurim?
Yeah.
Real balabata Shavuos.
It'll be amazing. It's amazing. Being good guys. Okay, let's take two. So there's a vav. No, I'm telling you. There's a vav in the first. Here's what it says: Lo yisasa lecha kol pesel v'chol temuna. It's forbidden to make for yourself a pesel or temuna. What's the difference between a pesel and a temuna? Can we do it quickly together? What do you think? A pesel means, what's the lashon pesel? The word pesel comes like from the luchais. The luchais themselves were psal lecha shnei luchais avin onim kavishnam. To chisel is called pesel. Why? Because when you chisel, you're removing psilas. What's pasel? Pasel means the stuff that's so when the act of creativity of chiseling is called removing the psilas, and you're left over what you want. You're moving the waste matter. It falls on the floor, and then you left, right? That's how chiseling works. So that act is called vayifsol, psal l'choshnei l'chosavin kavishanim, and it says, so you can't make a pesel. So a pesel is an avodah zarah that you chiseled. V'chol temuna. A temuna is what? A picture. So what's in between a picture and a chiseling? So my take is, a picture is a white canvas where you create what you want. You add the paint and you make your picture. A pesel is you start from the whole thing and you subtract. These are two different modes of creativity. One mode of creativity is a temuna, white canvas. I make a temuna, I paint it, I add, and I get what I want. And the other one is I start with a block of stone and I remove creation by subtraction. So what does that mean? In Torah doesn't care what kind of art you use to make avodah zarah. I think what the Torah is saying is a very deep thing. It's saying that there are two types of avodah zarah, two types of kfira. All kfira in the world is either a pesel or temuna. What does that mean? A pesel is where you start with an image of God that's shalim. You went to yeshiva, you went to cheder, you learned the richtig, a picture of God. And then things happen, and you go, there's children with cancer. Hashem's not a rachum. Chisel away a kosher. Then you say there's a Holocaust. Hashem's not in control. Chisel away. You go through all your kashas to chisel away at God. Your picture of God is what remains. That's called a pesel. A pesel is one type of wrong belief where you chisel away at God because of your kashas and you have what's left over. So when it says loisas chol pesel means don't go subtracting from God because of your kashas. What's a tamuna then? If that's the case, can you figure out what a tamuna is? A tamuna is the opposite. Very like modern. It's like you start with an open canvas. You go, this is such a beautiful thing. My God must be like this. Oh, this is such an amazing meter. My God is like this. And you create your God based on what you think is attractive. That's a tamuna. So there's two ways that a person, all faulty beliefs in God is either a subtraction from God, that you chiseled away your picture of God, or you were the creator and you decided what God is. You buy that? You hear it? Is there a third type of, it's like mathematical. These are the two ways. I don't know if there's a third way. Is there a third way to get to a wrong belief? One is to add wrong things and one is to subtract and look at the wrong things. Whatever your picture is, there's two ways to get there. Is that rational? Is there a third way? Is Pesel and Tamuna a framework of all Avodah Zarah? Tell me a kfir that's not a pesel or a tmuna.
There's another God.
What?
There's somebody else.
Yeah, there's two paintings.
So you can, a lot of things you have to ask questions to figure out if it's a tmuna or a pesel. But if you say there's two gods, so are you saying a pesel that each god doesn't control everything? Each god only controls half? Is that a pesel god, or is it a tmuna that you want your god to be like this and your god to be like this? So you created two different gods. That's tmuna. But that daher it's going to fit in one of those categories. The question is, you don't know which one, right? A lot of times you don't know which category, how the person got to there. But all mistakes are either anything in life is like this, Relationships, you have marriage, right? So a wife is not happy because you're focusing on other people, or you're neglecting her. Right? It could be both, right? But it's one is a lack of the relationship, and one is that you're a narcissist. So everything's your way. Right? It's all about you. That would be a tamuna. Tamuna would be like a narcissist. Would be a tamuna. You decide everything. You make up things. You're not relating things as they are. You're creating them. The truth is that's a mistake. They could both be narcissism. The truth is everything's narcissism. The world, everybody's narcissist. And they don't know everybody. Every pseudo-therapist decides that everyone's either an addict or a narcissist. I think there's like 3 people in the middle. Yeah, right?
Who's that?
Oh, it's whatever. They're all at this table. Okay. So this is the Hakdama. You hear the Hakdama? Now we're gonna go fast. You hear Pesel and Tamuna. So then, what does it mean? The second Dibrais, it's missing a vav. Such a subtle thing. It says, instead of saying don't make a pesel and a tmuna, it says pesel kol tmuna. The first one says kol pesel v'chol tmuna, a carving or a picture, and the second one says a carving of a picture. What's a pesel of a tmuna? No, you're a creative guy. What is it? You're already planning the wedding in your head. I see. You're in wedding halls now. You're
Everything's done.
what?
Everything's done.
Okay.
I just gotta lose weight to get
So,
into suits.
so what's a pesel of a tmuna? If a pesel is a carving and a tmuna is a creation, so what is a pesel of a tmuna?
Why can't you create perfection or create a little more than perfection a little at a time? It's different types.
So what's the third one? What's this third thing? Okay, so we don't have to focus on now. At the end, we're going to understand what it is.
Have you ever seen a kid build with clay or Play-Doh?
Build what?
With clay or Play-Doh?
And then
First
paint
you build
it.
a big block, and then you start chiseling away to get it to what you want it to be. It's not a steel.
So you're saying it could be both. You're saying it's both. I don't want to say it's both. A pesel of a tmuna is not
How would you translate the best
You
is
decide
pesel of
if
its
it's one or the
meaning?
other.
pesel kol tmuna,
It's a good.
a carving of a picture. It's a weird thing.
Of a call is.
What?
That's the exact translation.
Let's see. Well, at the end, it'll be obvious. Okay, but that's enough of that. Now we can do the share. Here's the share. Okay, I'm asking a weird question to start the share. You might not like the question, but the answers are important. I'm just using the question to give the share. Where does human uniqueness come from? It's a very good topic also for separate reason for Shavuos, because we know that Pesach was all about getting rid of chametz and eating matzah. Shavuos, what's the offering on Shavuos? Everyone knows what the offering is? The carbon of Shavuos, there's one special mitzvah of Shavuos. You bring something called the Shtei Alechem. And the Shtei Alechem, the Pasuk says, Chometz Te'afena. it has to dafka be chametz. It's the only carbon that's chametz. Every carbon is never allowed to bring chametz to carbon. It has to be matzah. It says kol sa'or v'chol dvash. You're not allowed to put on the mizbeach. So the only offering, it's not really a carbon, the only offering that's chametz is the shavuos things, 2 loaves of bread that have to dafka be chametz te'afena. So that's not this year. I might have done it in an earlier year, but the idea is that Pesach is about removing yourself, humility, unity, and Shavuos is all about self. It's all about being as big as you could be. People don't realize that really steer us, Pesach and Shavuos. We ever discussed this? Okay, so I'm not going to do that now, but it's just a hakdama. So I want to talk about uniqueness, individuality. Let's talk about individuality. What makes a person individual? The kasha that I said I think is a weird kasha you might not like is if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is echad and we are all at Tselem Elikim. If you're made in God's image, so then how come we're all different?
Our experiences.
We did this once? We ever discussed this? Okay, good. So you're saying okay. You hear the kasha, Rabbi? If we're all made in God's image, so God uses these like Timu molds. Like in China, they could all come warped, but the Rebbeinu Shalom, you imagine, knows how to put something in a mold. So if we're made in the image of God, so he's saying a good teretz. What's your teretz?
We all have our own experiences.
So you're saying God didn't make us different. God made us all the same, and we get it's our personal experiences that shape us.
For the experiences that Hashem gives us.
No, what do you mean? There's nature.
There's the
Nice.
humanity.
There's
Good.
nature
What?
and nurture.
What? Nature and nurture. Okay.
So nurture.
Born all different. Well, of course.
Okay, good. So this is my kasha. Okay, it's good you're thinking. Let me tell you my teretzim. We're gonna go fast. Okay, I have a one teretz, which is a very important teretz, but it's not true. It's a havamina, and then the maskana we'll focus on. But it's worth hearing both of them. Wow, look at this with the light.
Okay, you don't have to use it.
Yeah. Okay. So the question was, where does uniqueness come from? We're all made in the Tselem Elikim, so we should all be the same. So here's my first havamina. My havamina is like this. You ever go? We have a lot of travelers here. Anyone went to Mount Rushmore?
We don't do America. No, we do America, but that's like not really.
I did it. I haven't
Mount
done it.
Mount Rushmore is the mountain with the presidents carved into it. Okay? So I want to ask you a very deep question. When the artist came to Mount Rushmore, before he chiseled Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, and Teddy Roosevelt, before he chiseled them, which president was in the mountain?
Trump.
Who was in that mountain when he got there, before he chiseled them? Who was there? It's a trick question. What's the answer?
Everyone.
And could have been anyone in the world. When you come to the mountain, it's uncanvas, whatever you chisel. Now that he made these 4, now you're a little limited. You can make new faces, but they're going to have smaller features than if the guy's nose is bigger than Washington's, it's too late. Right? You have to have somebody with smaller heads and smaller features, you can still remove that. The process of Mount Rushmore, that's called chakika or psalacha. Chakika. Chakika is the luchas of chakukim. Chakika means to chisel, to be choykek, is to take a piece of metal and chisel away and take off the stuff, and you're left over with what you want. So the Sefer Yetzirah, when he talks about bria of the world, he uses this lashon always by bria. He says everything in the world chakak ka tzvakais, that Hashem made it. The word he uses is not bria, creation, or Yetzirah, formation. The word the Sefer Yetzirah uses is chakika. Hashem chiseled things. So if you understand that chiseling is the mode of creativity, then you have a very powerful teretz to this kasha. What's the teretz? Where does human uniqueness come from? We're all made of Tselem Elikim. Everyone starts off as a perfect block of granite. That's a Tselem Elikim. We are all the same. A piece of godliness. What makes me different than you is my trauma. What was chiseled off of me? My 3rd grade Rebbe said this, he took off this chunk. My Pirchei leader said this. The Shadchan said this. My parents, this happened, that happened. You go through life and everyone is taking a chisel to you. And they take off chunks. And what's left over is you. I am made, the mode of creativity is chakika. So everyone, Taka starts off, a Tselem Elikim is a perfect block of godliness. What makes me them you is I have different trauma.
So babies are the same.
Whole again.
What?
You could become whole again.
How?
People deal with their trauma all the time, right?
We'll see. Let's see. Maybe you're right, but I don't want to jump. Okay. So you hear the this is called the
All
Havamina.
babies are the same.
What?
You're saying all babies are the same.
No, it could be the Hakika started by the grandparents. It's a doirus process of Hakika. It's a relay race, and you're picking up where your parents were nechkak, and the reason why your parents beat up on you was because of their trauma. So you could avoid the question of you were born by saying that that Hashem is using a generational Hakika, but we are shaped by. So what uniqueness, according to this teretz, is how does uniqueness come? By deletion. You with me on this? Okay. It's a beautiful teretz in the sense that it legitimizes your tsar. My tsar didn't break me, it created me. What's the problem with this teretz? Why is it not an appealing teretz?
It's just saying you're just taking away. There's nothing giving. You're not getting anything.
What?
It's hard built you.
So isn't that beautiful? That the great way to reframe all your tsar. He wasn't ruining me. That's all. That was a shliach to make me like Hashem wanted me. He uses Hashem shliach. The whole tsar is that this guy ruined me. I was doing amazing. This guy came and he broke me, and now I'll never be the same. And the chizuk is no. He is the chisel. Hashem is chiseling you. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. That's the chizuk of it. It's saying that most of people's tsar is that my life was derailed. And we're saying your life wasn't derailed. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. That's the Havamina. What's wrong with this teretz?
You can only get smaller.
It's a terrible teretz, because what are you saying? When you weigh the finished product, how much does it weigh? It weighs much less than it started. How much of me was lost in the process of making me? That's making me? Look at the floor. Every piece of stone on the floor is a piece of my Elokus that was taken away from me.
It's defining you.
What? Yeah, it still made me, but it's a very sad making. I would, my God, I don't want a God who has to create me by robbing me of who I. So why he just teased me? Why did he start me off so much bigger? He just wanted me to suffer.
Do you feel bad for the block of gold that Moshe officially is chiseling to make the?
Well, before you get to the black gold, you'll see why I don't want to answer yet. Let me tell you the real teretz. Okay, you hear the good side and the bad side of this teretz? I don't want a God like this. You want a God like this who teased you and showed you a big stone and then say, you're only going to be half of this. And you're going to watch it chopped off. But that's what I want. It helps you get past. You know what it does? It helps you get past the destruction that this person did to you. That this is where I'm supposed to be. But it makes you not angry at the Rebbe anymore. Now I'm angry at God. Why did God need to take away something he gave me in order to make me me? Just shifts the blame from the Rebbe to God. It's not a geschmack teretz. So Baruch Hashem, creation we learn from the Luchais Chakika, chiseling. Humans are not chakukim. What is the creation of human? Where did we learn the chinuch of a human from? We learn from the kruvim, from the menorah. Chinuch is always from the menorah. What's the mode of creativity of the menorah? How was the menorah created? Miksha. What's miksha? It means hammered. The menorah starts with a block of gold, and how do you make it into a menorah? You're pounding it, you're beating it, and it slowly gets into shape. So, can you look at what's the difference between miksha and chakika, chiseling and hammering. What's the difference? They both have the same mila, the first mila. Oh, they both have the same mila. What's the mila? That my trauma didn't break me, it made me. They both have the same mila. But the difference with miksha is that there's nothing lost at the end. When you weigh the menorah after you finish, it weighs the exact same amount. When I knocked it here, I popped out a cup on the other side and a flower on the other side. In miksha, there's nothing nevad, there's nothing lost. All of your elikus is here. The trauma was just reordering it. Every negative thing that you went through was just making you. But nothing was lost in the process. You're still all of your God. It's an amazing chizuk. The reason why people are meyayish from tsar is because they feel like it's too late. Miksha says nothing happened. If you could sell miksha, it's just the start of the share, but it gets much trippier. But miksha is the first trip. You understand the chizuk of miksha? Every person who's depressed is depressed because they think that they went through hakika, they don't realize it's miksha. They think that When I was a kid, I was jumping off the couch with a towel tied around my neck. I was going to save the world. I was going to be a hero. I was going to get a bas melech, or the girls dreaming I was going to be a princess. Some guy was going to fight a dragon to deserve me. I was going to be a prize. He was going to want me because I was so amazing. I was going to be a princess. And now I did this, and I messed up like this, and I messed up like that, and now my ship sailed. I'll never be like that.
That's not reality.
What?
That's not reality.
So why is it not reality?
Because there's no such thing as superheroes.
The superhero dream isn't really to fly or to be bulletproof. What is the superhero dream? When the guy is jumping off the couch, when the girl is dreaming of being a princess, is she dreaming of royal blood? Is she dreaming of fancy clothing? No. It's very deep. What's the princess dream? Can you get into the panemius of what that princess dream is? It's a very simple dream. I want somebody to value me so much that they're going to risk their lives to get me. I'm going to be so valued, so cherished. Someone is going to work so hard to deserve me.
Isn't that a bit narcissistic?
No, that's the most amazing dream in the world. Every girl has it. Because every girl really starts off like that. That's why men and women talk. It's a separate schmooze. It's a good kasha why it's not narcissistic. And the answer is that a narcissist is only a guy who thinks like that. A girl who thinks like that is not a narcissist because that's the MS. I'll say the words for those who didn't, because it's hard. Once you say something, you can't go weiter. People get stuck over here. So my words of my men-women talk is, the Torah's view of the difference between men and women is there's two different godliness. There's something called Kedusha and something called Tara. We think they're synonyms. Kaddish, Tara, Kaddish. Kedusha and Tara are opposites. What's the difference between Kedusha and Tara? What's the difference? Kedusha is you achieve Kedusha. You become Kaddish. You are Makadeh something. Tahara, you don't become Tahara, you preserve Tahara. If you visualize life as a ladder, and one person's born on the bottom, one's born on the top. The person on the bottom is called Choyl. And what's their job? Be Makadish yourself. Become Halik. Work on yourself, you grow, you become amazing. Tahara is, I was already born holy. What's my job? The world is going to do everything they can to cheapen me and degrade me, and I'm going to defend it. So we believe that a girl is born on top of a ladder, already godly. If you look at all the midas of Hashem, every girl, the moment she's born, already has all those midas. What are her midas? What are the midas of Hashem? Forgiving, patient, kind, deep, sensitive, compassionate, tolerant, accepting, sensitive, selfless. Every girl is like that when she's born. She's not going to be rewarded for being born godly. She was born that way. What will she be judged on? After 120 years, Hashem's going to judge her. So how much of that did you defend? Did the world succeed at cheapening you? Did they succeed at schlepping you down the ladder? That's what a woman's judged on. So her job is Tahara. You preserve Tahara. You defend Tahara. The boy is born lazy, arrogant, selfish, lustful, self-centered, all these things. Impatient, confrontational. But he's not punished for that. Hashem made him that way. What will he be judged on? At the end of 120 years, how many rungs did you climb the ladder? The boy is judged by what he achieves, what he attains, and the girl is judged by what she maintains. And that's called Kaddish V'Tar. Together, if she defends her holiness and he achieves holiness, then that's called Kaddish V'Tar, and that house is totally godly, and that's Shleimus. Okay? Why did I have to go into all this? Because I was telling you that the girl dream. It's a very good kasha. Why isn't that narcissist? I'm telling you.
I mean, they're both the same dream. They both want attention.
It's not narcissist.
They both want attention.
A narcissist is a lie version of what a girl who believes that she's Sholem is authentic. When a girl feels that she's a princess, she's in touch with her holiness. It's not narcissism. When a boy thinks he's a princess, that's unhealthy, right?
It's actually probably cheaper because you actually have to attain something.
Be accepting society.
I have like a lot of proofs of this. I don't want to get.
I saw proof in the Ishbitzer.
What?
I saw proof in the Ishbitzer.
The
It says that ish, the concept of ish means that you don't do what your heart tells you to do one thing and you overcome it. And
nice.
The name
nice,
Isha
nice.
means that she follows her heart.
By the way, the
She doesn't-
Nachman has proof like Shabbos is Shomer Zachar. Shomer is what? Is guarding. It means don't fall. And Zachar is what? Is the one doing. So Zachar also means male. The male job is the doing, and the female job is the defending. Okay, but so you understand? We don't have to go. I don't want to spend more time on it. But so this is the first yesod. The first, if I have this chapter on this book on reframing suffering, one chapter is going to be called miksha. But you understand the power of miksha? Miksha literally is maybe one of the most important things that someone who's in tsar should know, because the reason why I suffer is not the pain. I suffer because the woulda, coulda, shouldas. I was on track to do this and they ruined me. And then nobody wants to be second best. No one wants crumbs. So the knowledge that it's not, and especially with girls. With girls, this is very, very hard, because a girl sees herself. This is why our world is so. You want to know the worst thing about our world today? You know what the worst thing of the internet is? It used to be that a girl messes up. You know what she had to do? Because she's still a princess, she's still Halig. She got schlepped into it, she got seduced into something, she got peer pressured, whatever it is. She wasn't strong enough, she didn't have a father who was mechabed her to remind her. But what happens is girls, everyone messes up. But all a girl used to have to do, when she messed up was, you go to a new city, 45 minutes away where no one knows what you did, and she's instantly a princess again. A boy, he has to climb the ladder. So he needs to go to Eretz Yisrael. He needs a brutal Rebbe who's going to kick his rear end and push him around and force him to godless. It takes years for a man to become a gadol. A girl's already Halig, so she messes up. All she needs to do is get away from the people that remember her. Like when she goes to a new place where no one knows what she did, she can instantly go back to being a princess. No one's going to call her out. But today with the internet, it's impossible, because your weakest moments of your life will follow you forever.
Yeah, but that's everybody else's point of view. From your own point of view, you're...
Very good. So that's my teretz. My teretz is you're right from everyone else's point of view. But and everyone's is not a small thing. I'm not minimizing this. But from God's point of view, you're miksha. You have to know that nothing happened. That's this chizuk. The girl who's depressed or suffering or suicidal, like we were talking about, she needs two things. She needs to know that she's miksha in God's eyes, and she has to know that yes, other people, but they don't matter. That's a hard step. It's a hard step. But okay. So let me go to part two. So you hear the miksha? So what's the kasha of this miksha Torah? I'll add in one thing also. You could add this into the miksha if you want to add it. This is a deep thing. You can finish on you're all creative guys. I'm not going to finish it for you. You'll do it. You'll personalize it. So according to this, the trauma that you go through is not taking you away. It's just reordering things. So you can go one step deeper. In the menorah, what does the trauma create? When they hammer the menorah, what are they creating? There's four things the menorah has. It started as a block. What did it end off as? Flowers, as flowers, krachim, gviyim, kaftorim, right, and branches, konim. It has branches, it has bolts, it has flowers and cups, right? You ever familiar with that in the pasuk? What the menorah look like? It had all these cups. So this means that trauma creates four beautiful things. Figure out what the four are. Like the gviyah is easy. It creates cups. How does trauma create cups? It makes you into a receptacle. You're a makabel. You're able to hold things. How do you hold something? Only because I have a hollow. Without the hollow, nothing can go in me. It's amazing. Okay? It's an extra steroids havana of miksha. Is that one thing that miksha does is it makes you hollowed out. Hammering, you can hollow you out, but hollow you out means that you can contain unbelievable things much more. And actually the cool thing about being hollow is, you know what? Now when you weigh yourself, you weigh more than you started. You weigh a bucket after. Now, our kasha was that you chisel me, I weigh less. A hollow allows you to weigh crazy how much more.
And you mix your also.
And you mix your shalom and you weigh twice. It allows you to include whole new things into you. The deep thing in the menorah is even trippier. I never went here, but listen to this.
You can say the same thing, by the way, about chisel. Because you could chisel receptacles and cups as well.
Yeah, but the receptacle is a trade-off that you did lose the insides.
You're saying still right there.
What? Okay, so yeah, we'll see. But why would you don't have to try and uncover hakika if you're miksha.
How do you know if it's chakika or mikshah?
Okay, so that's the next step. But you hear this? I just want to show one more thing. I'm not going to explain this, but see if you can do this on your own. The gevia on each branch they had 3 geviyim, a gevia in a gevia in a gevia, and then the flower and the bulb. So what does that mean? A clay kivel that holds a clay kivel that holds a clay kivel, and then that's you got to figure it out what that means, okay? But that's already for you. What?
No hint?
No, it could be anything. Meanwhile, what does the bolt do? The kaftar makes it stronger. One thing that trauma does is it makes you hollow, a kli kibel. One is it makes you into a stronger, you become stronger from it. The other one is a flower. How does trauma make you a flower? What?
Beautiful.
Why is trauma a flower?
Beautiful.
And also it makes condom branches. Why does it make branches? Because branches go right, left. Uniqueness. Variation comes from trauma. If it wasn't for trauma, if it wasn't for the hammering, we'd all be the same. Okay, you could do. This is not the purpose of the share. So what's the kasha now? So Rabbi, you're asking this could help somebody who's you think
why the cup and the cup and the cup?
Okay, you think of that, but I'm saying, but that's not necessary. But I'm saying to help someone who's
to contain the next vessel.
To set. Yeah, I'm saying there's so many levels of trauma on top of trauma. You become, but your kli kivel can hold the kli kivel. That holds the kli kivel. Like, you know what it's like? It's like doubling down. Don't cash in your chips yet. Double down. You know that saying. That saying is if you really believe this, if you really believe that you're miksha, wow, this is so trivial. Listen to this. If you really believe you're miksha, then you don't want Hashem to stop hammering, even though you have a vessel. You say you can keep on hammering. It just gets more beautiful. I want a gevia, and you make another gevia.
Yeah, but you have to look at
That's how it's such a reframing of your life that you can mamish embrace with simcha, tsar, because you know that nothing's being lost.
You have to look at it that the kavia and the kavia is able to hold a higher quality product itself, or else there's no point in a kavia and a kavia.
Because it's holding it. It's not whole. It's holding another gevia.
Yeah, but
What that means is that, you know what it means? It means also, Nifin Yisoid, is that every trauma makes you capable of a whole new level of trauma. You couldn't get the 3rd gevia the first time. You had to go through two gevias. Because the pain of the trauma hurts even though nothing's lost. So first you have to go through a little. It's like, you know what a little bit of a muscle for this would be is like a massage. If a massage doesn't hurt, you feel like you got cheated. Right? You want a real. So, and why doesn't it bother you if it hurts? Because you know you're gonna feel good afterwards. It's literally like a little bit like a miksha. You know, it's not ruining me; it's making me better. Okay, so what's the kasha? The big kasha of this is if miksha is so amazing that miksha can mamish take a person on the ledge. Every single person who's on the ledge, the reason they're on the ledge is because they think that there's no future. They think that there's no maybe there's a future, but not the one they wanted. There's no recovery. Painting a future for someone on the ledge is not going to help because they know what their future was. So the only thing that will help someone on the ledge is miksha, to know that everything they wanted is shaykh. That your miksha, nothing got lost. So if miksha is so beautiful, so why is there something called chakika? Why are the luchais chiseled? Everything should be miksha. We should only hammer everything. The Aseres HaDibra is the most important thing on Shavuos is chiseled, which is so inferior to chakika, to miksha. You hear the kasha? So what's the answer?
The answer is, and this is where this is the similarity to Mitzrayim, to Pesach.
That what?
So start with Pesach or Shavuos. Where do you start?
You start with Pesach. First the matzah.
So the reason why did the Rebbeinu Shalom see us Mitzrayim 3 times a day? We were the Yidden in the Mem Teshar Tumah. The Rebbeinu Shalom wanted to show us that you can only become so big after you reach the Madrega of the Mem Teshar Tumah. When you're at the lowest rung of the ladder,
but why is that not? But the fact that you can get to the 50th means it wasn't chakika, it was miksha. If you can recover your 49th to get back to the 50th.
Okay, but by the Luchis, the Baruch wants to show you, I can create the holiest thing for Klal Yisrael
From brokenness.
From
So even brokenness is good.
That you need to, or that you're capable.
with what?
When you're meaning to get to the Memtes Shari Kedusha, you don't need to be at the Memtes.
So no, you're
Apparently,
saying.
we're the
Okay, this gets into the
Let me tell you this, Rabbi.
Apparently, from Mitzrayim, we learn that yes.
So Rabbi, you're saying an amazing. This is going to be one of my shiurim on Shavuos. I'm speaking on Shavuos. This is why the luchais, the first ones and the second ones, are both in the Aron together. There's a value to perfection when nothing is lost, and there's a value to the broken pieces. I'm doing a shiur called the wholeness of brokenness, the wholeness of the broken tablets.
Rabbi, when you put
Okay,
this into your two types
so
of
that's
weight,
this vart. This vart is that the broken tablets have a whole different trippy whole. It's. You're right. It's miksha and it's lost, but miksha is only a problem in the world that wholeness is the goal, and in that world, miksha is perfect. But there's a different world where brokenness is the coolest thing in the world.
Yes.
Not because it could be recovered, without recovery.
Correct.
It's very trippy. That's why the broken luchas have to be in the Aron. There's two trips. There's two paths to Hashem. Both luchas. Okay, but I want to tell you a different. I want to tell you a different text.
Ties into other share.
What?
Ties into other share with the two types of white.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's all connected. But I want to show you a different shot in Hakika, and then I want to show you the last thing, and it's amazing. What's the other shot in Hakika? So listen to this. So sometimes when we go through trauma, we have to think it's just miksha, nothing's being lost, Hashem is just reordering me, it's getting more beautiful, it's amazing. That's one chizuk. But then there's something called hakika, where things are actually falling off you. You're watching chunks fall off. So imagine that you're sitting in a room with beautiful stones, and somebody comes and he starts you just brought in this Yerushalmi stone from Eretz Yisrael. It's like the most amazing stuff, and this guy's chiseling the stones on your wall. So every chisel, you're watching chunks come off. So what do? He's ruining it. So the first chunk, he goes, you know what? I'll use sandpaper. I'll sand it out. And then he chunks off more. Now there's no sanding. It's too big. So you go, all right, spackle. I give you spackle. And he keeps on chiseling. At one point, you realize that it's not recoverable. He ruined your house. But then you know what happens if he keeps on chiseling? And he keeps on chiseling? You just get so broken. But at the last step, when the guy chisels the last hammer blow and he cuts through the wall, and all of a sudden there's a hole and the light comes rushing in. You know what you realize? He wasn't destroying my wall. He was breaking me out of jail.
So that influences.
Sometimes you think that the chiseling is taking away from you. And you have to realize that if it was you, it would be miksha. If things are falling off, you know what it means? It means that this was not you. You jailed yourself in a havan of who you were that was crippling you. If you see chunks of yourself fall off around you, that means that Hashem is breaking you out of a jail. It wasn't you. If the trauma is hitting you, it's only miksha, nothing gets lost. If something is getting lost, there's something called hakika. Hakika is where I'm freeing you from most of us have prisons that we're in, that we've defined ourselves by lies that we use to cope with trauma because we didn't know it was miksha. When we don't know about miksha, so therefore we lie to ourselves about our trauma. And we create whole new worlds of what I am.
You're saying trauma creates greatness?
No, trauma creates lies.
Okay.
To defend yourself, and then Hashem has to break you out of those lies to say you could be you.
Mm-hmm.
The job is
the trauma is creating you.
What?
The trauma is creating
The cool guy, coolness. Coolness is a coping mechanism for authenticity. When you felt vulnerable, and you put on this fake front, like nothing matters, I don't care. So when Hashem has to chisel away at your coolness to free you, so you can become authentic again. He's freeing, and that's another reason. That's where Hakika would come in. You hear the Hakika teretz? The Hakika teretz is that sometimes there is chiseling, things falling off. You know what that is? Then the guy's chiseling your wall. It gets worse and worse, but eventually it cuts all the way through and the light comes rushing in. And you realize he wasn't ruining your wall. He was breaking you out of jail. What you thought was your wall was a cell. When Hashem is chopping you, and it hurts, that's miksha. And nothing's falling off. If something is falling off, you know what it means?
Something greater.
Means this thing wasn't you. You covered yourself in a coping mechanism because you didn't believe in miksha. No one told you about miksha, so your trauma got in the way of you, and you changed who you were to cope with it. You became. I said coolness is my mashal. Coolness is a fake exterior you put on when you've been broken. Now you don't care. I don't care. So when Hashem breaks your coolness, He's freeing you from that sheker and allowing you to find your real self. So sometimes when you're going through trauma, it's miksha, and sometimes it's hakika. But the hakika is not on the you. If you see chunks coming off of you, it means it wasn't you.
Exterior.
By the way, the best mashal for this is, listen to this deep idea. When you read the letters of the Luchais that Moshe held, they were chakukim. So when you read the Luchais, what are you reading?
What's not there?
What color were the letters of the Luchais?
It's what's not there.
Right, so good. I'm asking in a weird way. What's the answer to my weird way of saying it? What color were the letters of the Luchais? Put yourself there, you're reading the Luchais. What color do you see?
What?
Seeing negative space.
You have to ask, but you have to ask me more questions. What's the answer?
Light.
Color.
If it was daytime, what color would they be?
Whatever's behind it.
Whatever's behind it. The answer is if you're holding against the sky, it's blue.
It's still whatever's behind it.
If you're holding it against Moshe's shirt, it's white. If you're holding it against his face, it's skin color. When you read the Luchais, you're reading behind it. You're reading the whole. So the godless here, the Torah was the words of the Luchais. What is the Torah written? What is the writing of the Torah? The holes in you. The whole Giloi of the Torah in Har Sinai was Hashem wrote Anoichi Hashem Elokecha in trauma, in Chakika. The Chakika is the words of Torah. You're reading the whole. Because the truth is the infinite God. The stone was blocking God. When you read the Luchais, what are you reading?
No, he's blocking the light.
When you read the Luchais, what are you reading? You hear this? What are you reading? Answer. Forget the color. What are you reading now? It's the same question, but a different answer. When you read the Luchais, what are you reading? You're reading the infinite space behind it. You're reading the infinity. You're reading the Torah was written on the infinite, but it's blocked by stone, and you have to cut. You have to cut a hole in the stone to see the Torah.
You can only see the Torah with the hole.
With the hole, right? Good. Okay, good. That's the text. So this is now you have two different chapters in the book on trauma. One chapter is Miksha, an unbelievable chizuk. The other, maybe there's a separate chapter on the Gviyos and the Kaftorim, and then the next chapter is Chakika. So let's go. I want to say one last thing. Something called, we'll see, Giza. That's the coolest thing. Let me do the Giza first. In the Beis HaMikdash, it said the room where the Sanhedrin sat was called what? The Lishkas HaGazis, right? What does it mean? Why was it called Lishkas HaGazis? What does it mean in English? How you translate it? The word Giza, what is Giza? You find it by the Mizbeach. It says when you build a Mizbeach, Lo Sivne Eshem Gazis. Gazis means, here's the pasuk, Lo Sivne Eshem Gazis ki charbecha heinafta aleh vatachaleh. You can't build it hammer with a sword, chiseled, because you swung your sword on it. The Mizbeach can't be made chakuk. But it calls it not chakik over there, it calls it gazis. When you swing a sword on stone, it's called leisivne eshem, don't build it gazis. So it says the reason why the room where the Sanhedrin sat in the Beis HaMikdash was called the Yun. You know the word Yun, H-E-W-N? That's what I translated in proper English. The Yun chamber. Lishka is an office. The office, Yun means the word chakika, the chiseled room. The chiseled chamber. The word gazis. Right, the act of swinging metal on stone is called gazis. You're not allowed to use that, the pasuk says, so we know that gazis means chiseling. And that's why it says that the Sanhedrin sat in the chiseled room. Why would it call the room of the Sanhedrin chiseled room? Why would you guess? It's referring back to the Luchais, which were chiseled. And this is the place where the Luchais had their The Sanhedrin were the ones who fully actualized the luchos. That makes sense why it called the room the Sanhedrin sat in the chiseled room. This is the room of the chiseling. What's the kasha? An obvious kasha? What's the obvious kasha? If it's calling the Sanhedrin's room, the chiseled room, to be like to remind you of the luchos, so why doesn't it say chakika like by the luchos? Why does it have a new word for chakika? What's the new word for chakika? Guzes. Why are there two words for chiseling? Can you figure out why? What is the real root of the word guzes? What's the difference? This is my chiddush. It's crazy. What's the difference between guzes and chakak? They're both swinging metal against stone. What's the word guzes mean? You know what the word guzes mean? It's a malach of Shabbos. What's the malach of Shabbos? Goizes, shearing. Shearing wool is called to be goizes tzon. So what's the difference between chiseling and shearing? They're very similar. Both cases, you're taking chunks off of something. But what's the difference? It's so deep. What's the difference between chiseling and shearing?
Chiseling, you're breaking away the bed, and then the shearing, you're taking off what you want.
Amazing. Yeah? Rock star. Chiseling, chiseling, you're taking off what you don't want and you're leaving over what you want. Shearing, what are you doing? You're taking off the wool, you want the wool. So now, what do we have now? Now we have the trippiest thing in the universe. I don't even know how to think about it. But if chakika is called chakika and giza, what does that mean? What does that mean? By the luchais, it's called chakika and giza. Chakika is where I chisel it because I want the holes, but giza is where I want the middle. So what does that mean? Giza, you want the wool. I want both. So what happens when you have both? When I'm using the luchais, the hole?
That's the answer to the original question.
It's another version of
painting and the
it's but hold on, but it's another version of miksha. There's nothing lost. Because I have the hole, I want to read the hole, and I want the pieces too. The pieces are miksha is shalem, and chakika and giza together are a different type of shalem. It's the most amazing thing. Is that trippy? So this is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is such an artist that he's either doing miksha on you or he's doing chakika on you, but he's walking away with two artworks. The artwork of what he chiseled and the artwork of the pieces. He has little pieces that he sells and big pieces that he sells. And the little pieces are the pieces that came out of the big piece. It's sholim. Everything Hashem does is sholim. Both chakika. It's two. So now we have 3 chapters on dealing with tsar. Your tsar is either miksha, nothing was lost. It's chakika, it's freeing you, or it's giza, which is the tzir of. Okay, but let's go back to the original question. We'll end with that. The original question was the second lucha. He says a pesel of a tamuna. What happened in between the first luchais and the second luchais? The egel. The egel is what prompted that broke the luchais. So I would venture to say that all the differences in the luchais are a response to what changed. So what would you call the egel? We said all avodah zarah is a pesel or a tmuna, chiseling or a picture. What was the egel?
Picture.
It was hammered.
Figure the egel. What's the egel? How'd they make the egel?
They melted everything together.
Gold into the fire.
Took all the gold, they melted it down. The egel is a whole third thing. It's called
lose anything.
It's called a masecha. A masecha is from the word nesech, poured, nesachim. You melt the gold and you pour it.
Why is that not like?
So the egel looks like it's miksha.
Right.
The egel looks, the kruvim were miksha. The menorah was miksha. By the way, I didn't say this, it's an important line. I'm going to go just stick in one thing. The miksha is where you get klab or something and nothing's lost. That's why no one knew how to make the menorah. No one knows how to give klep. Only the Rebbeinu Shalom himself can make the menorah. Nobody in the world knows how to give klep when nothing's lost. Only Rebbeinu Shalom. That's miksha. It's amazing, the miksha. But listen to this last step. So the egel was a masecha. A masecha looks exactly like miksha. But what?
no banking.
Well, no banking, but what?
Didn't
I
lose
think it didn't lose anything, so it looks shalim. But it's really the worst thing in the world, the Masecha. So what's a Masecha? A Masecha lost everything. You took this gold and you melted it into a puddle, and now you made it into a full thing. It's total destruction, masquerading as miksha. It walks around like it's miksha when there's nothing from who it was. And that's our world. Our world today, everyone's walking around, everyone's been demolished, taken apart, walking around like we're the happiest, coolest people in the world, but there's nothing oblivion from who maybe. That's the Masech. So, and that is what it says, the second Luchai say, a pesel kol tamuna. You might think that the egel is a tamuna, because you made a perfect showing thing, but it's a pesel of a tamuna. All your tamuna was a total pesel. It's like you grinded it up into a powder, and then it's a trippiest thing. It's amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah, we stopped.
Okay, we stop here. But you have to think about it. It should be 4 shiurim.